Hello, my name's Rebecca Lloyd and this is my journey presentation. I've titled it Rebecca in Wonderland. This story is about my personal journey from being a child, becoming a woman, and then becoming a mother. And I think the moral of my story is that good things will come to you as long as you're prepared to wait for them. Once upon a time, there was a little girl for who the world was a wondrous place. Every morning held the promise of new excitement, new adventure. A simple stick, fallen from a tree so high that it seemed to tickle the sky, could be a sword for fighting away the dangerous pirates that lived at the house next door. Or a wand that could turn any bully into a frog with a simple flick of the wrist. She could conduct an orchestra or cut her way through a deep, wild jungle. Use it as a paintbrush to draw a masterpiece in the dry, red earth. And all of this before breakfast. Sweet, sugary rings that were inspired by the rainbow and were best eaten in front of a cartoon or two. Food always appeared on the table when requested. Lunch was generally some kind of miscellaneous tasty meat with red sauce on bread so white that it almost hurt her eyes to look at it directly. And dinner? Well, that was made from the fingers of fish. But unfortunately, childhoods have to end. And that little girl becomes a woman. A woman whose world is governed by someone else's rules, someone else's greed, and each day is grey monotony. Waking just to travel the same road, to the same suffocating space, to slave away at the same tasks in order to earn the right to bleed money back into the pockets of those that offered it in the first place. Food is no longer simple. There are costs to consider, additives to be aware of, and the new study shows that, oh, who cares, there'll be a new one to read about in the morning. Responsibility weighs heavy on her shoulders and she's almost crushed under the constant weight. Expectation looms over her, a constant shadow that leaks into her bones and fills her with emptiness. But time passes and love blossoms. And suddenly, an unexpected promise of tomorrow swells in her belly. Each day she feels it dancing, struggling to break free. Tomorrow arrives at 5 minutes past midnight, and she weighs 3.235 kilos. Tomorrow is perfection personified. 10 tiny fingers and 10 tiny toes. A piece of the woman's soul and the only person that has ever heard her heartbeat from the inside. One glance into tomorrow's eyes and she is instantly transported back to a long-forgotten realm. Internal walls that have been fortified by time and repetition come tumbling down in an instant. Life is bright, new and exciting. She is one drop in an ocean of possibility and life begins again. Tomorrow stops to inspect the cracks in the pavement, pauses to lay in the long grass and find shapes among the clouds. Tomorrow dances in the moonlit garden of imagination. It asks questions and asks the woman to do the same. Why? 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 Tomorrow also brings new mountains to climb, but it never lets the woman climb them alone. It takes her hand and walks beside her. They're in this together. The woman grows, the woman learns, and tomorrow watches. This new journey is tiring for tomorrow, and it must rest and prepare for the new day. So the woman lays down with her until she falls asleep. And after I kiss her sweet sleeping face goodnight, tomorrow smiles, and I smile back at her.